Hello everyone, my name is Luke, aka Mr. Rage, and welcome back to another one of my discussion videos. I hope you guys are doing well tonight, or today, whatever it may be for you. Yes, judging by the title, we are talking once again about Xbox. And this is actually the direct sequel to a video that I made not too long ago, actually about a couple hours ago, why Xbox is going multi-platform. This is the sequel to that video, so I hope you guys enjoy. So yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into it. Before I do, I'd also like to give a quick shout out to my friend Jake Wolf, M64 Bros, and B Coker the Gamer 16, as well as Platano King, who is a very, very chill Dead by Daylight streamer. He has a great community and he streams often Dead by Daylight, and his streams are just a lot of fun. He's one of those streamers and YouTubers that actually really cares about his viewers and cares about, the content, because he actually makes really good content for his viewers, and he cares about making good content for his viewers. So huge shout out to Platano King. Great dude. I might actually do a collab with him in a little bit because, he does stream Dead by Daylight often, and I might be doing a collab with him soon. So definitely check out Platano King. He streams on Twitch and YouTube, I believe. So yeah, definitely check out Platano King. Great guy, great YouTuber, really chill community. So yeah, pretty much everything you would want in a streamer. So yeah, now we can get straight into it. Now, the first thing that I want to say is I actually really hope that this is not true. Even though I'm primarily a PS5 player these days, I still hope that this is not true because, even though I stopped using my Xbox, I do not want this brand to die. I do not want the Xbox brand to die because the Xbox consoles, the Xbox brand, everything about Xbox, it's still very important to me. You see, when I was a kid, one of my first real gaming consoles was an Xbox 360, and the reason why I love video games as much as I do today is all thanks to the Xbox 360, because this is the console where I essentially experienced some of my first great memories playing video games as a kid. So Xbox as a brand is still incredibly important to me, even though they are no longer the amazing brand of console that I remember them. I still love them just because of the experience that Xbox gave me as a kid. I mean, me being a gamer and me loving video games and even discovering video games, it's all thanks to them. I will never forget the day I got my Xbox 360 for the first time. I'll never forget the day I unpacked it. I was so excited. Me having ADHD just made me even more hyper than I already was. It was just amazing. I even remember the first game I played on it. It was Gears of War, actually. And that's why I'm such a big Gears of War fan. This is going to sound really sad. I mean, usually I don't get personal with you guys here on camera, but I'm actually really depressed about this. Like, the minute I found out about this, my heart dropped, because this is actually something that I foresaw. I knew it was going to happen, and deep down, I knew it was going to happen at some point, but I was just telling myself that I was just being paranoid like I usually am about everything that I hope doesn't happen in my life. And again, I know it sounds really sad, but, because this is just a video game thing, but Xbox is still just that much important to me. I'm always gonna be an Xbox fanboy, no matter what. Not an Xbox fanboy, but an Xbox fan, not a fanboy. Didn't mean to say that. I mean, I was an Xbox fanboy back in the day, but I love Xbox no matter what. Like, no matter what happens, I'm always gonna love Xbox. And seeing this news, it has affected me a lot. For those of you who are wondering why this is even happening, my reasons, my prediction, the reason why this is happening is because Microsoft needs to make more money. Just like I said in the first part of this little series that I'm making here, Microsoft is one of the biggest tech companies in the world, and they are worth more than $1 trillion, and that is a fuck ton of money. So obviously, Microsoft is a very, very large company. I mean, they're actually global at this point. They're a global company, which is an insane position to be in. And that is pretty much the reasons why they might be going multi-platform with Xbox. Because why do you think Microsoft is as big as they are? Because of how many products they sell to everyone and because of how available those products are. I mean, obviously, all of Microsoft's products are available to everyone. Everyone can buy their products, and people are already doing that. And that's why they're such a big and successful, profitable company. So that's pretty much the reasons why Xbox might be going multi-platform. For those of you guys who don't know why they may be going multi-platform, that's pretty much the reason why. But we're not talking about that anymore. This is a different video. I hope this doesn't happen. I really, really do hope it doesn't happen. This whole thing it's almost a bit traumatizing, to be honest. I feel like this will go down as one of the darkest moments in the entire gaming industry, in gaming history as a whole. This will be known as one of the darkest moments in gaming history if it's actually true, because Xbox has been around for so long. Yeah, not as long as PlayStation. I mean, those guys were around since the 90s, and not as long as Nintendo. But if anyone says that Xbox didn't leave a lasting impact on the gaming industry and gaming in general, then they are fucking lying to you. Xbox started the first-person shooter industry with games like the Halo series. People will say it was Call of Duty, but ask anyone from that time and place during the original Xbox era, and they will tell you that the very first Halo was iconic, and it still is till this day. If it wasn't for games like Call of Duty and Halo, the first-person shooter genre would not be where it is today. You could also give thanks to shooters like Doom as well, but Halo pretty much evolutionized first-person shooters with its gameplay, because even first-person shooters like Halo Doom. Even shooters like Doom were not as not as big as Halo. The first Halo CE or Combat Evolved. Halo Combat Evolved. It evolved all right. It evolved the first-person shooter genre. So Xbox obviously has left a very big impact on the gaming industry and gaming as a whole. And that's why it's so depressing to see where they are now. I mean, the fact that Xbox might actually die, to me, that's an incredibly sad and depressing thing. That's why I believe that we are in the darkest era of gaming in general. I mean, Xbox has been doing bad for a very long time now, but I never would have thought it would come to this, to the point where Xbox might actually just die like that. It's very sad. And also, again, because of the 360 era, the Xbox 360 era, oh my god. The Xbox 360 era was one of the greatest eras in gaming as a whole. Some of the greatest games ever made were on the Xbox 360, and they were released during that era of gaming. The point I'm trying to make is Xbox is very important to people like me and to a lot of other people, not just because of the impacts it left in the gaming industry and gaming as a whole, but also because of the experiences that Xbox has provided us with. I mean, ask anyone who played on the Xbox 360 like myself. Gaming back then was probably some of the greatest moments we had gaming in general. I mean, gaming now compared to gaming back then, I mean, we have better games in 2024. We have bigger, better games in 2024. And yet, people from the 360 era will still tell you that the Xbox 360 days were still way better than the Series X and PS5 days. And that just proves to you how amazing those times truly were. I mean, when you have so many better things now, and yet people still prefer what we had then, it proves to you that what we had then was still better than what we have now, just because of how amazing and how much better things were back in the day when things were, it wasn't even just about the games. The 360 era and that era in general, back then, life in general was just so much less complicated. It was a time when things were more peaceful, a time where people had less to stress about, a time where life was just really good. There was not a lot of bad. There was no bad outweighing the good like it is now, because these days, obviously, life has changed, and it's changed in not a very good way. I mean, life has changed dramatically and not for the better. Back during the 360 era, everything was better. Like, literally everything back in the 360 era was better. It wasn't just about the Xbox 360. The Xbox 360 and the games it had, that's what made that era so good. But at the same time, life in general was good. Everything was better back in that time. Life was better. That whole period was better than the one we have now. And I understand that I'm going to be sounding really negative here, making modern life sound like shit. But to me, and to a lot of other people, it just is. Life is more stressful than it's ever been. People are suffering more than they've ever suffered. And life, even back in the day, it was like a 50-50, things were bad, things were good. But even like now, it just seems like life is just so much worse than it used to be. But talking about the 360 era, because I'm getting a little off topic here, the Xbox 360 was one of the greatest generation of consoles in the entire gaming industry. In gaming history, the Xbox 360 was one of the best consoles. It saw some of the greatest games ever released, but most importantly, it gave us some of the memories that we will never forget, because we will never want to forget them, because of how enjoyable and how happy we were in those times. That's why we'll never forget the memories that the Xbox 360 and gaming as a whole gave us, because even gaming in general in that time and era was just so much better. I mean, gaming back then was actually fun, and it seemed like we had developers back then that were actually really passionate about games, just as passionate as we were to play them and to love them. It seemed like back then, the developers, like every single developer, loved the games that they were making as much as we loved to play them. I just think we had better developers back then. We had better game developers, we had better game companies. Even Rockstar. The Xbox 360 era was pretty much the last generation of gold Rockstar instead of, new Rockstar. The Rockstar that milks their same game since the 360 era, GTA 5, for 10 fucking years just for shark card sales. You guys can tell I'm never going to get over that. But anyways, this is why Xbox is so important to me. It's not because of the Xbox One. I mean, I do love the Xbox One, but it's not because of new Xbox. I love Xbox because of old Xbox. The times that I had with my Xbox 360, I will never forget for as long as I live, and I know it's the same thing for you guys. I know that my fellow Xbox fans will agree with me when I say that Xbox, we fell in love with Xbox, and we love Xbox till this day because of all of the great experiences that it provided us with. The games we played, the friends we met, the people we met, the times we had. I mean, I talked to people who remember staying up all night playing games like Halo and Gears of War and Call of Duty Zombies and GTA 4 with their friends, just staying up all night, just having such a great time. And those are the times and memories that prove that the Xbox 360 was just one of those special consoles that came from a very special era and time period in life. Usually talking about this makes me happy for a certain time or a certain extent, but knowing what I now know, knowing what's happening, I'm honestly somewhat on the verge of tears right now. This genuinely fucking hurts. It really does. This really does hurt me. Although I've left Xbox and switched to PS5, I will always love Xbox no matter what they do. So seeing this, hearing all of this, like experiencing this, it really does suck. It's fucking terrible. And I know that this is just business at the end of the day, because let's be honest here, Microsoft doesn't care about any of us. Like, this is just a business, and one thing that all businesses have to do is they have to make money. And if Xbox does go multi-platform, this is a good business practice if they do go multi-platform, because if we look at this in the eyes of a business, like if we look at this in a business perspective, I mean, it is a good strategy because, like I said, Microsoft is already making so much money. I mean, they're pumping millions of dollars every day and trillions every year. So they're already making so much money. Now, just imagine how much extra money they will be printing if they put Xbox exclusives on other consoles. They will be making so much more money than they are already making, because the reasons why Xbox exclusives aren't making that much money now is because they're only on Xbox. I mean, even Phil Spencer himself said that no one is going to buy an Xbox if they have a PS5 just to play a game like Starfield. Most people are not going to do that. The only people who will sell their PS5 and buy an Xbox just for a game like Starfield, those people were probably not enjoying their PS5s in the first place. Like, those people, they were not enjoying their PS5 in the first place at all. They were probably not enjoying Spider-Man and all the other exclusives that PlayStation was offering, and they probably figured, hey, I think Xbox is going to offer something that I'll appreciate and enjoy more than what PlayStation is offering. So some people, yes, some people will switch to Xbox for one of their exclusives, or used to, but for the most part, a lot of people are not going to do that. So yeah, even Phil Spencer said that no one is going to buy, or not, well, most people will not buy an Xbox just for one of their exclusives. Now, if Microsoft releases their games, or if Xbox releases all of their exclusive games on other platforms, then they will be making money, way more money, if their games were not on those platforms. And this is all due to the fact that people are just not really buying Xbox consoles. And this is one of the reasons why Xbox has failed in my eyes. I mean, Xbox has been failing for a very long time now. I mean, ever since the Xbox One era, that's when Xbox really started slacking. But you see, the thing about this generation of Xbox is, this generation of Xbox is actually so much worse than the Xbox One era. Because the Xbox One era, not only did you still have exclusive franchises that were not shit like they are now, like Gears of War and Halo, because let's be honest, during the Xbox One era, Halo did not completely go to shit, and neither did Gears of War. And you also still had some other great single exclusives, like Rare Replay, for example. Rare Replay was a very fine game from Rare that a lot of people enjoyed. And then you had great games like Rise, Son of Rome, Sunset Overdrive, Quantum Break, Dead Rising 3, Titanfall 2. Those games were pretty good. I mean, those games are also very underrated as well. I mean, all those games I just mentioned, those games are very, very underrated, especially Sunset Overdrive. Sunset Overdrive was such a fun game in my opinion. Although I haven't played it in a very long time, but I remember playing Sunset Overdrive. That was a very fun game. It's a shame it didn't make Insomniac that much money. No wonder they sold out the PlayStation. But anyways, the fact that the Xbox One had more games at launch than the Series X had at all, because the Series X didn't even launch with exclusives, that right there is actually very, very sad and disappointing, because a lot of people considered the Xbox One era and generation to be like the worst generation for Xbox, but honestly, could you actually say that, knowing that Xbox One actually had some really good exclusives compared to the Xbox Series X? I mean, the Xbox Series X is 4 years old this year, because yeah, the Xbox Series X came out in holiday 2020, but at that point, you can say that the Xbox Series X came out in 2021 because it launched at the end of 2020. So the Xbox Series X has been out for 4 years now. This is the 4th year of the Xbox Series X. In 2025, it will already have been half of a decade since the Xbox Series X has been out, and we still don't have any really good exclusives for the console. Xbox has nothing to offer in terms of something that you have to buy. Like, this is one of the best games. Like, no. Xbox has definitely not offered that at all. And yes, I understand that Xbox fanboys are going to say that Starfield is one of the best games ever made, and everyone's going to want to play it, and everyone wants to play it, but they don't. I'm going to say that right now. Any Xbox fanboy who says that every single person wants to play Starfield is the same shit as PlayStation fanboys saying that The Last of Us is one of the greatest games ever created, even though it sure as hell isn't. It's actually far from it. I played The Last of Us. I beat The Last of Us. It's a very good game, but it is not even close to a masterpiece. It's actually very far from it. The story I found, the story was alright. I think the story had a lot of plot holes in it, you know? I feel like the story just had way too many plot holes. I like The Last of Us, but I don't look at it as one of the best games of all time. Not even close. Like, not even slightly close. It's a very decent survival game. And for Starfield was so bad, I couldn't even play it for more than 3 hours. I just couldn't. I was already bored out of my skull. So, no, I'm not a fucking PlayStation fanboy, because I know that people are going to be calling me that. You know, you called Starfield a bad game and you're on a PS5 user calls Starfield a bad game. You're such a PlayStation fanboy. No, the fuck I'm not. Okay? I was literally on the verge of tears because of Xbox dying. If someone still says that I'm a PlayStation fanboy, I will rip your fucking throat out. I swear. God. Anyways. People are not going to buy Xbox for games like Starfield, and that is exactly why Xbox has failed. You see, back during the Xbox One era, there actually was a couple of good reasons to buy an Xbox One instead of a PS4. The Xbox One had backwards compatibility, had some more than decent Xbox exclusive games, and that's also where we saw Game Pass start to pump up, or start to become a real thing. I also like how the Xbox One was also more powerful than the PS4, you know, because of the Xbox One X. Kinect was obviously shitty, but I don't know. I think Xbox One was slightly better than the PS4. Maybe that's because I was more of a horror fan back then. I loved games like Dead Rising 3, and I love that we can still play games like Left 4 Dead on there. But the point is, even during the Xbox One era, that's when Xbox was starting to slack. You know, that's when they were starting to fall behind on everything. And the Xbox Series X generation is significantly worse than the Xbox One generation, because at least Xbox had more exclusives to offer back then than they currently do now. I mean, honestly, the only good exclusive that we have for the Xbox Series X, honestly, is Hi-Fi Rush. Halo Infinite was alright, and so was Gears 5. Like, Gears 5 was a very decent game, but in terms of being in terms of being on par with the original Gears of War games, Gears of War 5 is dog shit. Like, when you compare Gears of War 5 to the original Gears of War trilogy, it's complete dog shit. And you see, back then, on the Xbox 360 era, Xbox had such great franchises. The Gears of War series, the Halo series, Fable, and then you had the Xbox Live Arcade. And I remember the original Dead Rising. Oh man, that was actually one of the second games I ever played on my console. Yeah, it was Gears of War and Dead Rising, that's it. Yeah, now I remember. It was Gears of War and Dead Rising. Those were the first couple of games I played on my 360. And then eventually games like GTA 4. Those were the first games I played on my 360. Now I remember. But, yeah, when you compare the Xbox Series X generation to the Xbox One generation, Xbox One definitely had more to offer in terms of exclusives. Now, this is the reasons why Xbox has failed. I mean, this is the reason why Xbox is just not selling as much as they used to. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that the Xbox One actually sold more than the Xbox Series X. I think. The reason for that is probably because people people were just coming from the 360 era, and fans of games on the 360 probably bought the Xbox One immediately so they can continue to play their favorite exclusive Xbox franchises like Gears of War and Halo. So, yeah, the Xbox One, I am more than sure that the Xbox One actually sold more than the Xbox Series X and the Series S. So, yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. But, yeah. Now let's talk about why Xbox is not selling, why they're not selling enough consoles. Now, there used to be a time where I used to think that people did not care about exclusive games, but I'm now starting to realize that maybe that wasn't the case. You see, when people are deciding whether to buy an Xbox Series X or a PS5, they see that both consoles are incredibly similar. And both consoles also pretty much get the same amount of multi-plat games. I mean, if you want to play GTA, you want to play Call of Duty, you want to play FIFA, you want to play Dying Light, you want to play all those great games, you want to play Far Cry, all of Ubisoft's games or whatever. If you want to play those games, then they're on both Xbox and PS5. So what I'm saying is both consoles are pretty much the same because they both get the same amount of consoles. Which is why when people are trying to decide which console they should get, they will look for something that one console has that the other doesn't have. And what PlayStation has that Xbox doesn't have, PlayStation has something that is really good that Xbox doesn't have, and that is, of course, PlayStation's exclusives. Now, again, I'm not saying that every single person on planet Earth is going to buy a PlayStation just because of the fact that it has more exclusives than Xbox does. I'm not saying that. But a significant amount of people do. A significant amount of people will buy a PS5 over an Xbox because PS5 has more games to offer than the Xbox does. And since people are buying these consoles to play games, exclusive games will definitely appeal to a lot of people. And that's pretty much why console fans love their consoles, because their preferred console or the console they choose has more games to offer than the other console. Either one console has more games to offer, or one console is offering the type of game that they are looking for. So, for example, if someone is more into first-person shooter games and online multiplayer games, they're probably going to buy an Xbox. And if there are some people that are into single-player games, like single-player cinematic action games, they're probably going to choose the PlayStation 5. You see, both consoles are going to appeal to different groups of people. You've got people who like first-person shooters and multiplayer games, and then you have people who are also interested in things like Game Pass and backwards compatibility. Those people are going to buy an Xbox. Even if all of this multi-platform shit happens, they're going to buy an Xbox. And then you have people who are more interested in single-player action games. They're going to buy a PlayStation. And you see, the thing is, even if Xbox does go multi-platform, there are still some things about the Xbox consoles that the PlayStation 5 still does not offer. Yes, I know that sounds surprising me saying that, even after all the shit I've been talking about. One thing that is never going to go to PlayStation or Nintendo Switch is definitely Xbox Game Pass. And you see, the reasons why Xbox Game Pass will never go to PS5 is because that would not be good for Sony. Sony is never going to let Game Pass on PS5 because if it doesn't already make sense to you, if I got to explain this to you, I will do so. PlayStation has their own subscription service, which is, of course, PlayStation Plus. If Microsoft just swoops in and puts their subscription service on PlayStation, that wouldn't make any sense because Sony and Microsoft are competing not just in terms of consoles, but also in terms of subscription services. Xbox Game Pass is literally a competitor to PlayStation Plus. So why the fuck would they allow Game Pass on any PlayStation console? That would literally be like giving your competitor a free win to help them better compete against you and knock you out. Like, that would make absolutely no sense whatsoever. So no, Game Pass is never going to come to any PlayStation console or any Nintendo console. Maybe Nintendo consoles, I don't know. Maybe Nintendo consoles, because Nintendo's subscription service is pretty shit. But PlayStation, no. Game Pass will never come to PlayStation, because if Game Pass is on PlayStation, then PlayStation Plus will lose money, and then PlayStation will lose money. I mean, Xbox will be making money off of their subscription service on PlayStation consoles, and then PlayStation will pretty much get snuffed out because of that. So no, Game Pass is not going to come to PlayStation 5, PlayStation 6, or PlayStation 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever the fuck. It's never going to be on any PlayStation console, okay? It will never, ever be on any PlayStation console, ever. And that is not just me saying something, that is a fact. Anyways, the second thing that Xbox offers that PS5 doesn't is backwards compatibility. This is one of the only things that actually makes Xbox better than PlayStation in a pretty significant way. I mean, in a world where people are excited to play games like Red Dead Redemption 1 again on PS4, that alone proves that people still really love their old games, because people still buy and are still excited to play remasters of their old favorite games. And this will definitely appeal to a large group of people who will buy Xbox because of that, because people do still want to play their old games. There are people who will still want to play their old games from the Xbox 360 and the PS3 era. I mean, the fact that PlayStation players had to wait a fucking decade just to play Red Dead Redemption 1 on a PS4 and a PS5 just because Sony is too fucking retarded to introduce backwards compatibility into the PlayStation ecosystem, that right there is a huge, big, fat L for PlayStation. Like, seriously. That's just one big fucking L for PlayStation, because people still love to play their old games. And anyone who denies that is lying to you. Yes, I'm not saying everyone's going to want to play their old games, but a large group of people are going to want to play their old games, and that is, again, just facts. Because look at how excited people were to play Red Dead Redemption again, and look how excited people were to play Batman Arkham on the Switch. Even though that port was terrible, people still bought it. And before they saw how bad it was, people were still excited to play Batman again on the Nintendo Switch. So, obviously, people still love to play their old games, and this can appeal to those people significantly since Xbox has great backwards compatibility. I mean, on the Xbox Series X, not only can you play Xbox One games, but you can play pretty much every single Xbox 360 game and a large handful of original Xbox games. That right there is a really, really strong benefit for Xbox. Like, that right there, like, that was like, that's a great thing for Xbox. And that was such a good move on Microsoft's end. I mean, giving the Xbox Series X and S the ability to play not only Xbox One games, but every 360 game and such a large handful of original Xbox games, that right there was such a great move, because this will appeal to a lot of people. Because like I just said again for the 50th time, people are going to want to play old games again. And not only that, but because Xbox has such great backwards compatibility, this also means that developers will not need to remaster their games. I mean, just because Rockstar remastered Red Dead Redemption, that doesn't mean that every single developer is going to do that. There are still plenty of old PS3 games that will be stuck on the PS3 and will not get remasters because the developers don't want to. And Sony didn't want to give the PS5 backwards compatibility. But if you're an Xbox user, you ain't got to worry about that, because Microsoft's got your back with that, because the Xbox Series X can play literally every generation of Xbox. I mean, shit, I've known people who have an Xbox Series S, not an X, an S. They bought an Xbox Series S just to be able to play their old Xbox 360 games with better performance and better frame rate and resolution. And again, that just proves to you that a lot of people still love their old games. But, unfortunately, this still does not mean that Xbox has been or will sell more than PS5, because it seems like more people are interested in new games or PlayStation's exclusives. You see, I think one of the biggest reasons why PlayStation is actually as popular as they are in terms of exclusivity is, honestly, I think it's because of Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man is the only reasons why PlayStation is as popular as they are, because honestly, if someone hasn't played a franchise like Uncharted or God of War, I really don't think that they're going to want to if they don't already know what those franchises are. Like, I really don't think that franchises like God of War and Uncharted are really that appealing to people. Like, I'm pretty sure it's just Spider-Man, because obviously Spider-Man is one of the most popular characters of all time. I mean, people who don't even know Marvel know Spider-Man because of just how popular he is. And it's also due to the MCU. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has a shit ton of fans, and Marvel fans in general. I mean, there are so many Marvel fans, and it's no surprise that most PlayStation players are Marvel fans. I 100% believe that one of the only reasons why PlayStation is as popular as they are in the modern era is due to Spider-Man. And the second reason why is obviously because of the OG fans, people who's been playing on PlayStation consoles since the PS2 and the PS3, the OGs and basically the new fans. To me, that's probably one of the only reasons why PlayStation is still as popular as they are. But anyways, like I was saying, although Xbox has great backwards compatibility as well as the benefits of Game Pass, more people are still going to choose PS5 over Xbox. And again, that's just facts. The numbers don't lie. Like, you can check the numbers yourself. The numbers don't lie. I mean, Xbox doesn't even show their console sales anymore, and that just really says something. Because even Microsoft knows that Xbox is never going to outsell PS5. I mean, the fact that Xbox is in third place, even compared to Nintendo, that just shows you how shitty of a spot Xbox is in, because even Nintendo is selling more than Xbox, even though Xbox has significantly more to offer than Nintendo Switch does. Nintendo Switch is still selling more than the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S. And that's actually something I don't understand, because the Xbox Series S is the same price as a Nintendo Switch. And yet people are still choosing the Nintendo Switch over the Xbox Series S, even though the Xbox Series S has better games, better backwards compatibility, and Game Pass. I mean, Switch doesn't even offer backwards compatibility. People are still choosing Nintendo Switch over Xbox. That just shows you that Xbox is honestly, like, I'm just realizing this myself. It seems like Xbox is actually hated because the fact that people are choosing Nintendo Switch over Xbox, because again, you look at the sales, Xbox is literally in third place in the console market. PlayStation is number 1, Nintendo's number 2, and Xbox is number 3. Xbox is literally in third place. Like, honestly, it seems like Xbox is actually hated these days because of how much people just don't want to buy an Xbox. And this is the reason why Xbox failed. If Xbox would have made better exclusives and would have given people more reasons to buy an Xbox, people would probably be buying Xbox either about the same pace of a PS5 or maybe more than a PS5, because obviously even the pacing is wrong. I mean, the pacing that PS5 has made in terms of sales is just so much more up there compared to Xbox. I mean, Xbox is not only selling barely, but they're also selling so slow. I mean, the numbers are not even going up that much. At least that's what I've seen. I mean, the numbers might be wrong or maybe they're outdated, but judging by what I've seen, the numbers are not even really rising that much. I mean, they're not even rising. Meanwhile, PlayStation and Nintendo's numbers are rising. So even the pacing is off. Like, everything is off. And again, it all goes back to the argument of exclusive games. Although Xbox has backwards compatibility and Xbox Game Pass, it seems like people still care more about exclusive games than things like backwards compatibility. And again, it's like I was saying earlier, people will look for the better benefits in both consoles, And to a large amount of people, the better benefit is better exclusives. And that's why people care so much about exclusives, because having a console that has games that are only on that console, and if you like those games or if those games appeal to you, then obviously that's the console that you're going to stick with, because that console has games that appeal to you and those games are only on that specific console. And that's pretty much why, it seems like that's pretty much why people are choosing PS5 over Xbox, because the games appeal to them more. PlayStation exclusives appeal more to people than Xbox exclusives do. And again, this is all due to Xbox not making better exclusive games. I mean, I've been saying this time after time again. Xbox exclusives have just been so low quality these past couple of years. I mean, if Xbox exclusives are not just complete dog shit, then they're just okay. And I've said before and I'll say it again, Starfield is literally just that. Starfield is literally just another Xbox exclusive that's not bad or good. It's just okay. Just like Halo Infinite, just like Gears of War 5, and there was one other Xbox exclusive that I actually... Oh, how could I forget? Fucking Sea of Thieves, because Sea of Thieves is also a very decent game. Then of course you've got the Forza games and Microsoft Flight Simulators. Those games don't appeal to me and a lot of other people a whole lot. Like, come on now. No one really wants to play a game where they just drive planes and cars all day. For the people who are already on Xbox, then you'll probably play those games on Game Pass and then never look back at them, I mean, when you compare vehicle driving simulators to what PlayStation is offering, yeah, that just shows you why PlayStation is selling so much more than Xbox is. I mean, PlayStation is over here with amazing action games, and Xbox trying to sell you fucking flight simulators and racing simulators and first-person shooters. I mean, when you really dive deep into what Xbox is giving you, it really does speak for itself on why Xbox is not selling very well. Because Xbox exclusive games are just really not that good compared to PlayStation exclusives. And although that is incredibly subjective, for a large amount of people, it's not subjective. For a large amount of people, it's the truth. Xbox exclusives are not as good as PlayStation exclusives. And the sales don't lie. For any Xbox fanboys out there that are wondering or trying to say you're wrong, like you're being a PlayStation fanboy, tell me, why is Xbox in third place? If most people didn't believe that PlayStation has better games than Xbox is offering, then why is Xbox in third place? Most people do believe that PlayStation exclusives are better than Xbox exclusives. The numbers don't lie. Phil Spencer doesn't lie, you fucking dumbasses. Like, even fucking Phil Spencer admitted that they have lost the console war and no one is going to sell or switch to Xbox just because of what Xbox is offering. Because what Xbox is offering is just not that good for most people in comparison to what PlayStation is offering for those people. Most people want PlayStation's games, not Xbox, PlayStation. The numbers don't lie, the sales don't lie. Because I know that most Xbox fanboys are going to deny this. I'm going to be making a video on those punks soon, because these Xbox fanboys are actually really starting to piss me off. These fucking Xbox fanboys are the reasons why Microsoft and Xbox hasn't changed in the first place, because these fucking dumbass Xbox fanboys, these motherfuckers are the reasons why Xbox has not changed, because they just keep eating up all the shit that Microsoft and Xbox is giving them. If Xbox fanboys would demand Xbox and Microsoft to give them better high-quality games like Sony is doing for their people, then maybe Xbox would not be going multi-platform right now and ruining my fucking childhood. It's all your guys' fault, because these fucking Xbox fanboys, just like every single console fanboy in general, these dumb fucking cunts will eat everything that Xbox gives them, including the shit and piss out of their asses and dick. These motherfuckers will drink Phil Spencer's piss and they will eat his shit. just for the sake of being a loyal Xbox fanboy who must defend their favorite piece of plastic and their favorite company. You guys are the reasons why this is happening. Like, all you motherfuckers are in panic mode right now. It's your fault. You caused it. If you would have had Xbox, no, if you would have forced Xbox to give you guys better games, then you would not be losing your whole fucking console right now. You actual pieces of motherfucking low IQ shits. It's all your fault. Xbox fanboys are to blame for their own downfall and the downfall of mine and their console brand. Because who else is there to blame? If these fucking fanboys would stop eating up all of the shit that Microsoft and Phil Spencer is giving them, then maybe Xbox exclusives wouldn't be as garbage as they are now. Because think about it. If a company is treating its users and customers like shit, then usually the customers respond negatively, and that will force the company to do better and give them and sell them better products. But since these fucking Xbox fanboys gotta eat up everything that Xbox gives them, even if it's bad or good, that's why Xbox has not changed their actions and tried to make better quality games. It's all because of you cunts. And the same thing will happen to Sony. It's already happening with Sony. Do you know that Resistance and Killzone are dead? Those two franchises I actually really enjoyed back on the PS3. Do you know why PlayStation just keeps feeding us Spider-Man and God of War and all these other overrated exclusives? Because Sony fanboys are not even asking for better games. And yeah, Spider-Man is overrated, and so is God of War. I mean, I have a PS5, but I didn't even start using my PS5 because of those games. Like, I still believe that PlayStation exclusives are overrated. I mean, they're not straight up bad, but I do believe that they're a little overrated. I mean, PlayStation fanboys and Xbox fanboys, you guys are literally swimming in the same pool of piss and shit. Like, there's no difference between you guys. You guys are literally the same. You guys both fucking suck, okay? You guys can both suck my left and right nut. Xbox fanboys, you suck this one. PlayStation fanboys, come over here and suck this one. You guys can both suck my fucking dick. And take both of my balls if you want, for dessert, you know? Put some cum, drink my cum, have it on your fucking pancakes in the morning. Some special maple syrup for you motherfuckers. Okay, you console fanboys, you guys piss me off. Because you fucking Xbox fanboys, you're the reasons why this is happening. It's all your fault. It's all your fucking fault. You fucking fanboys, you killed your own console. You are the reasons why Xbox is dying. If you would have stopped settling for mediocrity, then Xbox would have gave you better than the mediocre games that they've been selling you since the Xbox One era. But since you fucking Xbox fanboys gotta be as loyal as a fucking Muslim who's part of Islam, and you gotta worship your God, same thing with you guys. Even though Xbox is your God, I guess, you know, Microsoft is your fucking God, you worship these motherfuckers. But anyways, God, I forgot what I was talking about. Just having a mental breakdown because of this shit. Like, honestly, damn you people. Damn you fucking fanboys. You guys give me a fucking headache. Because I already know that this video is... I already know that this video is going to attract fucking Xbox fanboys. I already know it is. Because you fucking Xbox fanboys, I know how fucking salty you guys are right now. I already know how salty you guys are right now. But anyways, back on track here. Back on topic, I mean. This is the reason why Xbox failed. Because their exclusive games are shit. And people see that. People see how mediocre Xbox exclusives are compared to PlayStation exclusives. This is the reasons why people choose PS5 over Xbox. Exclusivity does matter because exclusive games will appeal to people more than a fucking subscription service. Even though, like I said earlier, even though things like backwards compatibility and Game Pass will appeal to some people, to most people, it's not. But, you know, I actually want to talk about that one more time because I don't want people to believe that I'm saying that every single person is going to want PlayStation's exclusives. I mean, there are some people out there who not only don't want PlayStation's exclusives, but they actually don't even like PlayStation in general. So I'm not saying that Xbox still doesn't have its fans. I'm not saying that there are not Xbox exclusives that don't appeal to some people or to a lot of people, but to most people, they just don't. That's all I'm saying here. I'm not saying that Xbox exclusives are not going to appeal to everyone. They are, but in most cases, They're just not. And again, it's all due to how many numbers you see on how many consoles have sold. PlayStation not only has sold more, but it also has... PlayStation even has more users than Xbox. I mean, if you look at the user count on PS5 compared to Xbox Series X, that alone proves that more people will buy PlayStation than Xbox. And the reason for that is because of the lack of things that Microsoft and Xbox has in terms to offer. I mean, if Xbox would have just made better, high-quality exclusives, then they would probably not be in this situation. And I actually also want to talk about the Xbox Direct real quick. The Xbox Direct, in my opinion, was really not that good. I mean, the only thing that really caught my eye was Hellblade 2. Hellblade 2 was literally the only thing that really caught my eye. I mean, that fucking Indiana Jones game, I have a lot of concern over that game. But you see, the thing is if Xbox doesn't go multi-platform, Xbox does have a lot of potential. And the reason for that is because Xbox has Bethesda, and obviously Bethesda is a very, very popular company who are in charge of some very, very popular IPs. People are going to want to play the next Skyrim, they're going to want to play the next Doom, they're going to want to play the next Dishonored, and they are going to want to play whatever new game that Bethesda is going to be making because people love Bethesda. Although Bethesda is a bit of a shitty company, there are still plenty of popular IPs that people are still going to want to play from Bethesda. And not only is Bethesda popular because of their IPs, but since they are a popular company in general, you see that other companies will approach Bethesda and have Bethesda work on games based off of their IPs. We're already seeing this with Marvel's Blade and Indiana Jones. Blade is a very popular Marvel character, and Indiana Jones is one of the most popular film franchises of all time. And why did they choose Bethesda to make the new Indiana Jones game? Because Bethesda is a popular company. They're a well-known company, and they have a lot of fans, and they have made a lot of great games in the past. So what I'm saying is Xbox has a lot of potential if they make the right moves. Bethesda is their best shot, which is even worse considering the fact that Microsoft wants to put Starfield and Hi-Fi Rush on PS5. Again, talking about the whole multi-platform thing, but Microsoft has potential, Xbox has potential, because Bethesda is such a popular company, not just because, once again, not just because of Bethesda's own IPs, but also due to the fact that other companies will approach Bethesda and have Bethesda work on popular franchises and turn those popular franchises into games. Again, we're already seeing that with Marvel's Blade and Indiana Jones. I mean, do you honestly think that other companies are not going to approach Bethesda and have them work on even more popular IPs? I mean, if the Indiana Jones game actually turns out to be successful, then you could expect to see a whole lot more movie franchises get turned into game franchises by Bethesda. You know, because if Bethesda makes one successful game based off of a movie, then other film franchises will also probably turn into game franchises and will be made by Bethesda. That's just my prediction. You know, I'm not saying that Bethesda's going to make every single movie a game, but that's just my prediction. But Bethesda is popular. They're a very popular studio. They make a lot of popular games. And Xbox obviously still also has its users. And, you know, that's actually one other thing I want to talk about. You know, for all the Xbox users who are being affected by this, I feel for you guys. I really do feel for you guys. Like, trust me, I do. I feel for you guys. This all really is very quite unfortunate. And I know that you guys have been fans of Xbox since the beginning. So I know that you guys feel probably just as hurt and just as frustrated as I do. I don't know what you guys are going to do after this. I mean, it's not like you got to leave Xbox after this. I mean, you still can love your Xbox and you can still love your exclusive games. But I can see why you're upset. You know, because the thing about Xbox fans is, you know, it feels good knowing that we get to play our favorite exclusives on our favorite console. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, the reasons why we love Xbox is because of their exclusives. So having all of our exclusives just get put on someone else's platform, I get it. I definitely get it. It's frustrating, because those exclusives like, Halo, Gears of War, Forza, all those games, like, those franchises are the reasons why we bought Xboxes back in the day. I mean, I've known Xbox fans who became Xbox fans back during the 360 era because of those franchises, Halo, Gears of War, and they've been Xbox fans ever since. And yeah, I feel for you guys. Like, I really do feel for my fellow Xbox users, or former, because I'm a former Xbox user, but I still, like, I feel for you guys. I really do feel for you guys. It definitely is unfortunate. But yeah, again, like I said in the beginning of this video, I really hope that this does not happen, because although most people will buy PS5 over Xbox, the tables can definitely turn. And it's so simple, because all Xbox has to do is just make better games. That's literally all they have to do. Like, I'm not asking Microsoft and Xbox to take over the world or buy every single studio in existence. Like, all I'm saying is, like, all they need to do is they just need to make better games. Because that's the reasons why Xbox is not selling as much as PlayStation. Because people want PlayStation games, because PlayStation games are better and PlayStation has more to offer than Xbox does for most people. And I get that Xbox fanboys are going to say, well, this is so great about Xbox, and this is something that's so great about Xbox, and, this is why Xbox is a great console, but that's only for you. Like, all the great things about Xbox that you like, those great things may not be so great for someone else. Like, all the great things that you think are so good about Xbox, someone else may not think the same. Like, someone else may not see those Xbox benefits as actual benefits for them. They're only benefits for you and everyone else who also sees those as benefits. The backwards compatibility, the Game Pass, like, those are things that are only going to appeal to a certain amount of people. But to most people, it doesn't matter. Most people want PlayStation games. And this is coming from a former Xbox user. Not even I want to believe that, but the sales don't lie. And the fact that even Phil Spencer himself pretty much said this, it's proof. And no, this does not make me a fucking PlayStation fanboy. If someone tries to expose me and say that this guy is a PlayStation fan, I'm going to be so pissed off about that. I probably just gave my haters an idea. Yeah, do me a favor and don't give Griffin Gaming my fucking video for him to make a video on me, because that motherfucker likes to make so many fucking videos on this guy's a fanboy and this guy's a fanboy. All those fucking fanboy channels. Anyways, I don't know anymore, man. I really don't know what else to say. If Xbox does not go multi-platform, then I really think that Xbox should try and up their quality a bit. Because as of right now, Xbox exclusives are still really not that good. I mean, yeah, Starfield is still getting all of its updates, and, for the people who enjoy Starfield, for the people who are liking Starfield, for the people who love Starfield, you guys are probably having a time of your life right now, because that game is getting so much more new updates. So, for the people who do enjoy Xbox exclusives, you guys are fine. You guys are in the clear. But for Xbox themselves, I mean, Xbox really needs to make better exclusive games, because we can clearly see that exclusive games do appeal to a lot of people. I mean, exclusive games, man, like, exclusive games, they're so important that even Sony is kind of putting their games on other platforms, because obviously PlayStation games are coming to PC. And again, it's all because of the money. So exclusive games do matter. And it's not just for the fact that Xbox needs exclusives, but it's also because I want better games from Xbox in general. I completely believe that Xbox has enough studios for one of them to make one good exclusive game. I mean, Xbox Studios, they own a lot of shit. Like, there's a lot of studios that are a part of, well, Xbox Studios. I mean, there are plenty of very talented and very passionate people working in Xbox Studios. So I know that somewhere in there is a great game just waiting to see the light of day and for us to play. that right. But I hope that Xbox starts to make better games. I hope that they start to produce better games, both for the sake of the Xbox brand and also for the sake of us, because obviously we need better games in 2024. But anyways, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. It's been quite a long one. If you guys stuck by till the end, 60 minutes, I hope you guys enjoyed this very long rant and this long discussion video. I know I definitely did. This was a bit of a depressing video to make. It's kind of impacted me a bit, but yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really do. If you stuck by till the end, I hope you enjoyed yourself. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, and thank you for hearing the. Thank you for sticking by till the end. Thank you for actually watching the whole thing. I appreciate that. But yeah, thank you guys so very much. And I will see you guys in the next discussion video. Take care, y'all. Peace.